On this now by joining CBS News correspondent Mark Liverman in New York. Mark, the Democrats, they can't stop President Trump using his executive powers, but they can challenge it. So what do you think is going to happen once this Trump order is made?
Well, they are expected to challenge the executive order, and it will probably happen fast, Stephen. Some Republicans, some of them oppose the move. They're concerned the precedent it sets for a future Democratic president. Some Democratic state attorneys general say they may go to court to block any declaration of a national emergency on the southern border. Attorney General Xavier Becerra of California wrote yesterday on Twitter that any border crisis is of the president's own making and, quote, we will do what we must to hold him accountable. His counterpart in Washington state, Bob Ferguson, said that if Trump's declaration depletes federal aid to the state, he'll, quote, take appropriate steps to block this unlawful action. So, Stephen, in less than a day since the president has made this declaration, there is already a lot of pushback.
Mark, the White House must know that this pushback is coming. They must know that the courts are going to get involved very quickly. Do they believe that the American public is on their side? I mean, how is this playing with the American public?
Well, it's still not clear exactly where they stand on that, but it really depends on who you ask when it comes to the American public. Of course, there's a strong Republican base, but in the latest CBS News poll, 2/3 of Americans said President Trump should not declare a national emergency, though a majority of Republicans are on his side. The president is kind of tiptoeing between moderate Republicans and some of the more conservative members here. His overall approval rating sank during the 35-day government shutdown, so it makes sense that he's going to sign the spending bill today, even though it doesn't fully fund his wall. Meanwhile, there are Republicans who have a much harder stance on immigration and see this compromise deal as a loss for the president, so declaring the national emergency should appease them, Stephen.
Mark, thank you very much indeed for joining us from New York City.